probably my biggest category, which is blushes. Color cosmetics in general will be my biggest category because I love cheek products. I love powders, creams, anything like that. So these are all of my cream blushes. Definitively cream. They set as a cream. They're still glowy on the skin. That is its formulation. So as you can tell, can't you see a pattern? I definitely have a lot of duplicates within one brand, just different shade ranges. So yeah, let's just jump into the multiples. So to start, I want to talk about my Finding Ferdinand blushes. So these two were in collaboration with Khaki Reviews Beauty on YouTube. This is her Summer Abroad collection. I have the shade Olay and Macchiato. This is what Olay looks like. I very much love this formula from Finding Ferdinand. I love the shades Khaki came out with for the Summer Abroad collection. And I will keep these until they go bad. These shades, just every time I put them on, I feel beautiful and happy. And yeah. So this is the shade Olay. There. Then I will swatch the shade Macchiato. This is what Macchiato looks like. I don't have any bad things to say about the Finding Ferdinand formula. Some people may consider it a typical cream blush formula. Most brands, I feel like, kind of have similar formulations, but truth be told, I don't quite care for the formulation, I care for the color. So, yeah. This is the shade Macchiato. So when Khaki made this collection, she made a light version and a deep version in 3 different tones. Actually, don't quote me, I don't know anything. But that's the shade Macchiato. I love that shade so much. Yeah, these are staying for sure. Next, I want to talk about my NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint Blush Mousse. I love this formula. The first shade I ever used from this line is the shade Nude Tude. The shade is so pretty. It's like a mauve, a cool toned mauve. It's really pretty on the skin. I love it. I love this formula a lot as well. Definitely keeping the shade Nude Tude. And then the next shade I chose to buy is the shade Coralicious. It's a coral, and this coral has a lot more like orange undertones to it. Like an orangey peach undertone. It's very bright. I do like this shade, however, I don't know that I like it enough to keep it, so this will be a maybe. Now, let's talk about my House Labs. So these, I love this formula. It's so glossy on the skin. These are the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balms. I only have 2 shades. These are very bright shades. The first shade I will talk about is Glassy Watermelon. At one point in life, which I still kind of am actually, I've been trying to achieve my perfect red blush. I have yet to reach that conclusion. Now that looks like it would be the perfect ideal red blush. However, as I blend it and sheer it out, it shows up very, very, very pink on me. So that's the issue. I do like this formula. I love the pigment load, so I'm definitely keeping this shade. The other shade I have is Glassy Tangelo. I have tried the shade on me. I love orange blush on me, honestly. And that is the shade Glassy Tangelo. It's a true orange. It truly doesn't lean coral. It doesn't lean red. It's just like such a perfect orange. I'm definitely keeping this one. I cannot wait. I know Color cosmetics isn't necessarily seasonal, like anyone can wear makeup whenever, during whatever season, but this one, with a tan, I cannot wait to wear. So I'm definitely keeping Glassy Tangelo. Next, I want to talk about my NYX Wonder Sticks. I have two. The only one I have worn is the Coral Deep Peach version. I did apply this in a video, so definitely check out my channel if you're curious. But this is the shade Coral. That is the Coral. Definitely has a pink undertone to that coral. NYX Sweet Cheeks has a coral orange undertone. Meanwhile, the one that's in this Wonder Stick duo, the coral in this one is very pink leaning. The other side of the NYX Wonder Stick is the shade Deep Peach. I love, love, love that shade. Oh my word, look at it. Ah, it's so stunning. It's such like a nude. It's just nude. Like, I don't know. It probably does have some type of peach undertone to it, but I love the way it looks on the skin. Yep. Definitely keeping this one. Again, this is the Coral Deep Peach duo. And then this one, the next Wonder Stick that I have is Light Peach and Baby Pink. I have not used this, nor do I want to use it. I think I've been running into an issue where I like a formula and then I buy multiples in that formula. As you can see with my NYX products, these two, with my Haus Labs products, Finding Ferdinand, and of course nude sticks, which we'll get to in a minute. There will always be a shade that I love the most from that specific formulation, and I've learned I need to stop doing that because I won't exactly be using all the other shades just as much as I'll be using that one perfect shade from that formula or from that lineup that I like. So this is Light Peach Baby Pink. I'm decluttering this. I have not used it. It'll go to a good home. My Nude Sticks blushes. I love this blush formula. There are a variety of finishes within the blush color line. The first one I've ever tried was Naughty and Spice. This is the Nudies Matte version. This one is so pretty. This I love so much. I love the shade. Like, look at how stunning that is. Although it has a matte finish, it's still a cream, so it's still going to leave the skin slightly glowy. I love the Nudies Matte line, I'll tell you that much. I love this blush shade. It's the first one I ever tried. I continuously use it and go back to it. It's such a cool toned mauve. I suppose it's reminiscent of the NYX Sweet Cheeks in Nude Tude, but I don't see a super, this one's pretty purple leaning. The Nude Tude is slightly pink leaning with some mauviness to it. Anyways, I'm not good at like distinguishing my blush range or any range, any color range. Next one I want to talk about is the shade Hot Fire. This is the Nudies Matte version. I did test this out in a first impression, so if you want to look, definitely go take a peek. I do want to swatch it next to Glassy Watermelon just to see a shade difference, because this, again, I was on the hunt for my perfect red. Okay. There's definitely a difference between Glassy Watermelon from Haus Labs and Hot Fire from Nude Sticks. Glassy Watermelon looks to be a much deeper, it's definitely more saturated, but a much deeper red. But again, when it blends out, it's very sheer and pink on the skin, my skin tone at least. This is the shade Hot Fire. It's definitely like a bright red, maybe a fire engine red of some sort. It's got some like coral, I think, coral orange to it. So it's not exactly ideal because I already have this orange that I love so much from Haus Labs, Glassy Tangelo. I have enough corals to last me a lifetime, so I don't necessarily need this one. And if I'm going to choose between Hot Fire from Nude Sticks or Glassy Watermelon from House Labs, I will choose Glassy Watermelon as my red blush. I also don't need two, again, I don't need two from the same formula. These are both the Nudies matte line. I will always use Naughty and Spice, so I will declutter Hot Fire. Then these two from Nude Sticks, these are from the Nudies Bloom. Yes, the Nudies Bloom range. They're still cream stick blushes from Nude Sticks. They're just much glowier. So this is Bohemian Rose. The formula for the Nudies Bloom is very much glowier. So this is the Nudies Matte from Nude Sticks, and this is the Nudies Bloom. Can't you tell? Can't you see the finish? It's way glowier. Although I do love a glowy finish to my blush, or a glowy finish in general to my makeup, I don't quite like the shade on me, to be honest. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's still beautiful on the skin, I just don't like the shade. I don't think I have much like it currently. If you can see on my hand, nothing quite like this. I think I don't quite like rose shades, but you know. So I'm gonna declutter this while it's still good. Next Nudies Bloom I have is Cherry Blossom Babe. This shade, when I did wear it, I loved it on me. I do. It's beautiful. I'm gonna swatch it down here. I definitely love it more than Bohemian Rose. It's definitely brighter. It is truly like a bright pink. I don't know if I'm showing you a great... I don't quite have anything like it. But, truth be told, I won't wear such a bright pink as much. And once we move into like other blush formulas in my range, like powders or cream to powders, I definitely have a blush like that I prefer more. So I just don't need, I don't need the Nudies Bloom Cherry Blossom Babe. So this will also be leaving. I do want to just finish off with my stick blushes. So I have the NARS, the Multiple in Bad Habit. I love this formula. I love this blush shade. It does remind me of the Cherry Blossom Babe from Nude Sticks. But this formula leaves a slightly matte finish. And the formula is just so much, I don't know, I love it. I love the pigment load. I love the finish on the skin. I suppose I prefer a slightly more mattifying look when it comes to blush, but I don't know, guys, I'm just weird. I just pick and choose, I suppose, but that is the shade Bad Habit from NARS, the Multiple stick, and I just prefer it formula-wise as it's on the skin compared to the Nude Sticks Cherry Blossom Babe, so this I'm keeping. The next product I want to talk about is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Crayon. I have the shade Vivid Coral. Oh wow, that's terrible. That sucks. Well, it fell out, but I'll still swatch it. So, I mean, I'm just gonna swatch Vivid Coral up here. I was never interested in this product to begin with. I was happy and grateful to receive it as a training product for my job, but I don't quite like it. I also don't think I like corals on me, although I have quite a collection of coral shades. Coral, I don't know, that's still something I have to figure out for myself, but now I already have an orange, which I love and I'm keeping, and then I have that NYX Duo Stick in Deep Peach and Coral, which I prefer more. I don't know, that one kind of just, I don't like it on my skin for some reason. So I would give this away, but it kind of fell out. I don't think anyone would want to use that, so I'm decluttering. Next blush stick I want to talk about is the LYS cream blush stick in Focused. I love this. I don't have any bad things to say. The shade is beautiful. This is probably the only blush shade I own, like cream blush shade I own, that has a slight, I don't know how to call it. It has some slight shimmer to it, but it is beautiful. Oh, I am so bad at this. The shade is stunning. I love the way it looks on my skin. It's a beautiful formula, so I am keeping this. It's unique to my collection because it has that shimmer to it, and it's the only shimmer stick blush that I own that has that. Lastly, I want to talk about my two cream blushes that are in a pan or in a compact. The first one I want to talk about is my Adventure Time Marceline cream blush. It has been a minute since I've used this blush. I'm still a little scared of it, but I think I'll get back into it coming this fall winter. So this is a pH adjusting blush. So it's supposed to change to a color that matches your skin's pH, your natural pH. See, like, I like that color, but when I wear it on my skin, it doesn't stay that color. It definitely changes. So I still have to mess around with this shade. It's still pretty unique in my collection, and I love Adventure Time. One of the first videos I filmed was literally about the Adventure Time Lethal Cosmetics collection. Oh, sorry, this is in collaboration with Lethal Cosmetics, so definitely keeping. The next one is the Tower 28 Beach Please in Party Hour. I'm definitely in my purple phase right now for blush, and I'm just trying to get a sense for purple blushes. Yeah, I like this formula. I have worn it as a cheek and a lip. It's very pretty. This is a really beautiful purple. It doesn't stay this purple on me. It's just like every time I sheer out any blush, it kind of turns pink. Whether it's a purple blush or a red blush, it just turns pink. But this does still, whenever I blend it out, still has this purple tinge to it that I like. So I like this blush formula enough to keep it. It's pretty unique to my collection. I don't have another purple cream blush, so those are all of my cream blushes. Decluttering my two Nude Sticks Nudies Bloom blushes. One's in the shade Cherry Blossom Babe and the other is Bohemian Rose. We'll also be decluttering my Hot Fire shade from Nude Sticks, but this is the Nudies Matte line. I will be decluttering the NYX Wonder Stick duo that is in the shade Light Peach and Baby Pink. It's unused, so it can definitely go to a really good home. I'm still on the fence about my NYX Sweet Cheeks in the shade Coralicious. The NYX Coralicious one is here. I don't know how I feel about coral blushes. Like, I didn't keep the Makeup Forever one because I don't like that tone. I didn't like it on me. And the NYX one is very similar to that coral tone. It's just a lot more cream liquidy. I think I'll just go ahead and declutter it. I guess when it comes to coral, I don't think I'm like a super coral person. If it's gonna be coral, it has to be an orange, like a straight up orange. Or if it's gonna be coral, it has to have a pink tinge to it, or this brown tinge to it. So yeah, I guess I will also be decluttering this. So that is a pretty good selection of products to leave my collection. I don't have any qualms about that. I don't feel any type of way. I forgot to talk about my cream blushes from Salt New York. They're in a separate part of my collection, so I forget about them a little bit. So these are my Salt New York Lip and Cheek Cream Tint Pros. This one is the shade Cocoa Light. This is Cocoa Light in Cacao Verdadero. So the only one I feel that might have some overlap in my collection would be Cocoa Light. It might overlap with my NYX Nude Tude Sweet Cheeks. I feel like that might be the only one that overlaps a little, so I'm definitely keeping those. I mean, it also might overlap with Naughty and Spice from Nude Sticks, but I do love those nude toned blushes, nude to me toned blushes. These are the Hannah Louise Poston Salt New York collaboration products. I have Waxwing, which Waxwing is from the Light Quad. I'm definitely not going to be letting go of any of these shades. If there are any more declutters that'll happen this year for my blush collection, it'll definitely be from not Salt New York, it'll be from a different brand. This is the shade Orchid from the Medium Quad. I don't believe I have much overlap because these blush tones from the Hannah Louise Poston and Salt New York collaboration, they are just so cool toned, so different compared to all of the other blush shades I own. So this is the shade Aniseed from the Medium Quad. Is Aniseed. And lastly, I have the shade Oyster Fig. Oyster Fig. If there is a shade that I probably overlap, actually, I don't know that the Hannah Louise Poston ones overlap, so I love that. To be honest, whenever I do look at my blush collection, especially my cream blush collection, I don't see a lot of overlap. So I think that's really nice. I do love most of these formulas, so I don't mind keeping all of them. So yeah, definitely keeping my Salt New York blushes. Next, I want to move into my cream to powder and powder blushes. So I do want to start off with the oldest blush in my collection. I've had this blush from PYT Beauty, which this brand no longer exists. I've had this blush for since 2021. It is just a pretty light matte powder blush. I like to keep this on hand for if I ever feel like my blush is just too pigmented, going all over the place, and I just need to lighten it and mute it down. I will keep this on hand. I've also used this product under my eyes, and I do like it. It's very smoothing. This blush formula is beautiful. It's smooth, it's lightweight, and I love it. So definitely still keeping this. Next oldest is my Bare Minerals bronzer. This is the shade Kiss of Mauve. I do like this blush. Whenever I wear it, it makes me feel good about myself. I think that's just what mauve kind of does to me. I Haven't been reaching for this quite a lot. I do reach for my cream blushes a lot more, but I still like this formula. This is one of the blushes I own that have, powder blushes that I own that has a slight shimmer to it. This actually, the shade is slightly reminiscent of the LYS blush stick that I have in the shade Focused. So it's nice to have a powder version for just in case. Powders are just much easier to use, which whenever I do reach for this blush, it's usually like a quick 5-minute look. I'm just like, oh, I know this blush will always look good on me, so this is what I reach for, and I'm still going to keep it because it's still going strong. Next, I want to talk about my Lethal Cosmetics Adventure Time blushes. This blush formula is so unique. I love it. It makes me happy. These are the two blushes in terms of the Lethal Cosmetics formula, or Lethal Cosmetics Adventure Time blush formula. These are the two I use most often compared to the Marceline cream blush. These shades are just a little easier to work with. So yeah, I'll just swatch these for you. I'm gonna swatch the Princess Bubblegum blush for you first. The formula is a creamy powder blush. To me, sometimes on the skin, it'll appear like a cream, but it truly sets as a matte. I love the pigment load. I love that it's a pretty matte finish. And yeah, depending on what your base looks like the finish of your complexion products, this will literally kind of cater to that. It'll go glowy or it'll go matte on the skin, kind of depending on your complexion products. That's the shade Princess Bubblegum. Definitely keeping this. Next one is Flame Princess Blush. This one is probably my favorite. I've definitely used it a lot more. And interestingly enough, this one has a much more creamy consistency. Like, it literally feels like a cream blush, but then it dries into a powder. It could just be that oranges are slightly easier to formulate, but that is Flame Princess. It's stunning. I love both of these, and they're staying. I would be interested in purchasing more Lethal Cosmetics blushes in this formula because they're so beautiful. To talk about my Danessa Myricks minis. So if you recall, in my primers category, I did talk about that mini primer, the Universal Radiant Blurring Balm Powder. These are the other 4 that came in that little set from Sephora, and these are the 4 shades I have from Danessa Myricks. These are the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed. Now, I have only used 2 of these, and the other 2 I've not used because I don't see a spot for them in my collection, so we'll just talk about those. These 2 I have not used. This is the shade It Girl. I have swatched this in Sephora before, and to be honest, I already own a pink blush. I own the Lethal Cosmetics one. Very bright pink, and while this shade might appear different on the skin, I'm very much satisfied with my Lethal Cosmetics pink blush. So the It Girl from Danessa Myricks in the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed is definitely being decluttered. It'll go to a great home. It's been unused. So the next one is the shade Prima Donna. I debated on keeping this or not keeping it, but I'm deciding to let it go because I was looking up blush swatches for the shade Prima Donna on like a medium, light medium skin tone, and I didn't like the way it looked on them, and I have a feeling I won't like the way it looks on me. So I'm just going to declare this. This one is probably going to be unique to my powder collection, and I guess in comparison to my cream collection too, but I'm okay. I'll let this go. The 2 I am keeping are definitely the more neutral ones. So the shade I'll talk about first is Rosé in Brunch. When I first tried this formula, Danessa Myricks just knows how to innovate, especially with her formulas, and I put it in the cream to powder category because it truly, I think that's kind of what it does. Her formulas are very unique. And this is the shade Rosé and Brunch. Although I said I don't like rose-colored blushes on me, when this goes on my skin, it just looks so pretty. This looks prettier compared to the Bohemian Rose from Nude Sticks. So I love this. I'm gonna keep it. So yeah, it hasn't done me wrong. It still looks beautiful on my skin. Next is the Spiced Latte shade. This one I love. I've used this before. I mean, obviously. But I get more compliments on the Spiced Latte shade. And for good reason. I mean, look, it's just so beautiful and nude looking. This is reminiscent of the Finding Ferdinand Khaki Reviews Beauty collection, the Summer Abroad collection. This kind of reminds me of the shade Macchiato, but I still love it. It's a slightly powdered version of that, so I shall keep it. Last two products. Let's talk about the Urban Decay Face Bond Blush Suede. This is the shade Situationship. I picked this up because I was very interested in trying red-ish toned blushes. Although it swatches very red, like a burnished red, which is so pretty. On my skin, it just turns pink, and I kind of hate it. I kind of hate it for that reason. Very, very disappointed, but the formula is stunning. I love how soft it is. It kind of offers a bit of a blur, and it's thin, and I like it, so I'm definitely keeping it. Although I don't like the fact that this red blush turns pink on me, I do still like the tone it pulls to. So yeah, I'm keeping this.
Brother, make it make sense. Why am I saying I hate this blush color, but I'm still keeping it? That is ridiculous. That's a statement, honestly. Um, so I'm editing. I think I'm just going to declutter that Urban Decay blush suede. I don't know what I was thinking when I was recording this and swatching it. I literally said I hate it and I was disappointed. Like, that's a clear sign I should not keep it. So I'm decluttering it.
Lastly, I picked up the Fenty Cheeks Suede Powder Blush in the shade Drama Class. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm in my purple blush era. I've worn this a few times already. Oh, when I purchased this, it was like a month ago. And yeah, it was on a good discount, so I bought it. This shade is a purple blush. And when I wear this purple blush on me, it is definitely purple. It's like kind of like a bruisey purple. I'm kind of into that. It looks cool. Gives me like a really cool vibe. So yeah, and it's pretty unique in terms of my powder blush collection. Like you can tell that this one's definitely pink, and then that this one definitely has that purple undertone to it. And yeah, I love it. So definitely keeping. Now, I will say, if there ever comes a time where in the near future I choose to declutter a few of my blushes from my current collection, aside from the ones I just decluttered, I will probably declutter the Urban Decay Face Bond in Situationship, the Bare Minerals Bronzer in Kiss of Mauve, and the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Flush in Rosé and Brunch. I just don't necessarily think all of these kind of make me happy anymore, if that makes sense, or they don't appeal to me anymore. So yeah, these are ones that I have like slight inkling towards eventually decluttering. That was my blush collection. I'll show you an overview of like my powder type blushes here. They're all pretty unique to each other, so I appreciate that. And these are all of my cream blushes that I had. Some of them, of course, will be decluttered, so yeah.